what we've been preparing for. It's an exciting time of year. They've worked incredibly hard. We're finally getting to rest, which is this process of tapering and progressively getting them out of shape and peaking for the event this weekend. So we're excited. We're ready.
Then who do you see as being some of the top teams next week at the RMAC Championships? On the women's side, it's a little different. A couple of associate members also.
Yeah, I think Dixie's got some real talent, and they've been a little bit shorthanded this year on their relays, especially. I think they'll, at full strength, give us everything we can handle on the women's side. I think Mines has been extremely impressive, especially on the men's side. They've got some real superstar talent with the women, but the depth that they showed, especially a couple weeks ago when they came here, was really impressive. So I think those are probably the two teams. Oklahoma Baptist has always done a very interesting job of recruiting foreign talent, especially at the semester. So I don't think we have any idea who OBU is until they show up on race day, and we'll see what they bring. And so there will be no surprises. I think our team is ready just to do their job and to focus on the things they can control and perform. But it's going to be a real good week.
Questions?
Candice, you're one of the few seniors, especially on the women's side, that has been home for a conference meet after the last couple of years. How exciting is that to be home, and what can you maybe relay to the younger athletes about what it's like?
It is true, I haven't had a conference since my freshman year, and it was honestly one of the most memorable ones. Traveling to Texas was a hassle, spending 16 to 18 hours on a bus and then expecting to swim your best afterwards is definitely something that we had to prepare for mentally and physically. But this year, we know that we are a completely different animal when we're racing at home. So the team should be pretty hyped up. It's going to get really, really loud, and it's going to be a ridiculously fast meet. Much like A3, we know our home pool. This is our house, and we're ready to take on anyone.
Candice, how's the taper been? I mean, it's not fun working up to taper for this, but now it's like, okay, you feel faster than ever before?
So the funny thing with taper is that you feel different in the water every single day. So last week was kind of frustrating. You know, we're still going fast, but our bodies are just exhausted. They feel exhausted. We're not swimming slow. And then this week we're still kind of figuring it out. Yesterday was a little bit of a struggle for some of us, but each day is going to be different, so we can't get too in our heads about how we feel leading up to the meet, just because that's the way taper works. We know that we're going to swim fast when we need to, and it's just part of the process that we need to trust.
See, and Noah, the diving side is just, it's one of those that you guys have to feel that we're going to go in and dominate. It's just, whose day is it going to be?
Exactly. I think we've all prepared well for this and taking breaks when necessary. Being able to kind of channel each other's energy coming into it and trying to it's a friendly competition, so it's like you said about whose day it is and just doing your best and seeing what happens.
One of those things where you're going to, obviously, you've got to hit the dives that you know you can hit, but kind of a preparation for nationals, because basically the whole team's there. So it's a pre-national meet?
Yeah, I use it as a warm up, kind of feel out the energy. Just because in other meets the energy is a little different, and then RMAC's finals, it's a new energy that we haven't seen this year yet. So it'll be exciting to have the stands full again and everybody watching and the pressure there.
Coach, men ranked 6th, highest ranking ever. It's equal to that. Women ranked 10th nationally. First year as a head coach coming from, Army West Point 2, D2. What's been the biggest surprise for you, or the biggest pleasure that you've kind of experienced as you're in your first year as senior, and the success that you guys have seen?
Not a ton of surprises. I think it has been a real honor to take over a program that has a great history and tradition and is on a trajectory to be great. I think one of the fun things, kind of personally, and a friend of mine, one of my former assistants at Army texted me this morning, and she and I were talking about being in the real world. They're real people with real problems and real issues and real life stuff that is a little bit different at West Point. I coached the same kid kind of for 13 years, and I've loved the way that my family and I have been embraced by the program and the family here at CMU. I feel really fortunate that the athletes have been amazing. They're working hard. They've embraced a little bit different philosophy in terms of the training and the expectations and the level of accountability that we've held them to. It's been great, and it really irks me, and it kind of gets back to a conversation we had in this room months ago when people talk about Division II as being less than in any way. These are athletes that are committed to their sport, that want to be great and do whatever it takes to achieve whatever level of potential they have. And that's one thing we've talked about with the team. I don't care if you're Division I or Division 12, that they're athletes, and they're going to do whatever it takes for them to go fast and to dive well and to create a program that can compete for a national championship. So that's what we're trying to do.
Perfect. And can you guys just talk about how you're preparing for the RMAC tournament next week, mentally and physically? Is this week kind of more of a rest week, kind of recoup your bodies going into the meet, or are you guys still kind of giving it your all in practices and not resting at all?
So the idea of taper is to maintain intensity while decreasing volume. So we're still definitely putting in all the effort that we need to. And so more on the physical side, I guess, we're still putting in the work that we need to maintain what we've worked for. Mentally, we're gonna start doing more visualization, and there's only so much that the coaches can control. A lot of it is on us, our nutrition, our hydration, our sleep. All of that is our responsibility. So making sure that we're still resting and taking care of ourselves the way that we need to is vitally important up and throughout the entire competition.
And for the diving side, it's a little different. We kind of restructure the practices a little bit, so we hit it a little harder in the afternoon than the morning compared to the normal season, I guess. Other than that, it's kind of the same old, same old. Just push through, try to get better every day, and learn something new.
Okay, last question. This question of the day. If you could go back in time, who's the one person you would want to meet?
There's so many, Yankee.
One. We're down to one. Any of you guys can answer it.
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head.
I'm tempted to say Jesus, but I am going to say my grandfather. who was the real patriarch of our family, who I never met, but I've heard stories, and I'd love to just have a meal with him and get a sense of our family history and some traditions and things. You guys got to answer.
would say
Oh, I know.
It's on you guys now, yeah.
I would have to say the Wright brothers, just because they wanted to fly. That's what they wanted to do. They weren't funded by anybody, so they did it purely out of passion. I would want to talk to them about how it felt and just the determination that they had.
It's very
Interesting.
appropriate from a diver too,
I guess
right?
it was
He likes to fly.
Can they still be alive? Or
Sure, if you
Sure.
haven't met him.
I would say sure. You haven't met him yet, yeah.
just someone I kind of always idolized growing up was Rebecca Soni. She's a Olympic medalist and breaststroker, but just the way that she would present herself and the way that she carried herself, the way that she just lived her life, I think kind of inspired me to start being a little more confident in myself, which is something that I've always struggled with. So if I ever have the chance to meet her, I will definitely take that up.
Perfect.
She would, you ought to Google her swim in 2008, the 200-meter breaststroke, where she's the underdog and she wins by 3 body lengths against the world record holder. Pretty amazing.